Hello, 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 this is Enestor27 coming to you guys with week number 6 of the NUH Battling League. Today, the Detroit Cobalions, your 2 and 3 hometown team, will be taking on the, god damn it, I cannot remember you guys, but the New York Metangs. I cannot remember your record right now. I'm truly sorry, Swami, I'm sorry, but this is right after our battle. This is the only time I get to record. But this is our battle. This is week number 6. We just had our battle, so I know exactly what was going through my mind. This is as close to live recording as you will get from me for a while. As I said before, I'll be looking into hotspots. Maybe I'll be able to bring back Battle Spot anytime soon. But if you guys could drop a like rating, it really does mean a lot. And today, I was looking for redemption this week, not gonna lie. I was looking forward to this battle because last time we went against the New York Metangs, we got absolutely clobbered. We got 4-0'd so hard, it was embarrassing. And the number one thing that I took away from that battle was that Dusclops sucks penis. So I ended up bringing a few mons who I knew would play a big role. I brought the Sandslash to knock it off. I brought Vileplume if he wants the Will-O-Wisp. I brought Ninetales if he wants the Will-O-Wisp. And then I brought a Seismitoad just in case he wants to be funny and be like, oh, I'm going to burn you. I'm like, nope, I'm a special attacker. But anyways, I'm going to hop right into the battle. There's nothing too special about my team right now. It's essentially the same one. Except I think this is for Alligator this week is D-Dance as opposed to the Swords Dance that I had a few weeks ago. But whatever, we're going to start off. I'm going to lead off with Pecans, and he leads off with his Vivillon, so I was sort of scared. I was sort of scared to overpredict this first turn because last time I ended up in this exact same situation. I ended up switching into Vileplume as he went for a Hurricane, and Vileplume ended up dying. So I didn't want to be in that certain position, so I was like, well, if I get put to sleep, Pecans isn't the worst Pokemon, so it's whatever. I'm just going to let it get hit. I'm going to bring an Alpha because I knew with every gut in my body that he'll probably go for a Giga Drain, but he decides to Quiver Dance, and I'm just like, well, shit, this thing is going to be annoying as fuck. So I know that this thing is probably Focus Sash because it was lead and it had Sleep Powder, so that tends to be the essential lead for a Vivillon. So I was like, well, there's no point to go for a Stone Edge. I might as well go for a Fire Punch as I easily died to the Hurricane. But thankfully, I'm able to break the Sash on this Vivillon, so I can just easily bring in the Foxy Ninetales to go for the kill. But unfortunately for him this turn, he's going to miss the Hurricane, and I'm just like, well, finally, I get some hacks on my side. I go for the Dark Pulse just to be safe, just in case he wanted to bring in the Rapidash. So it's whatever. I'm glad that he decided to kill off the Vivillon because I had a lot of Pokemon that were weak against that thing. So whatever. I'm going to switch out into the Vileplume this turn, predicting some kind of circle throw because that's what ended up happening last time. But no, he's gonna go for the knockoff, and I'm just like, why am I getting punished? But right here, I miss a Sleep Powder, but thankfully, I miss it. I miss it ever so thankfully, because I remember that after I did it, I was like, well, crap, this thing actually knows Sleep Talk. So I ended up going for a Sludge Bomb. I ended up getting a Poison. I'm really sorry. It's Hexish little start to the battle, but it didn't matter. Ended up avoiding the Sleep Talk little tidbit right there, so I'm just like, yes, I'm not going to end up dying. I'm not going to be put in that weird position. I'm going to go for another Sludge Bomb, and I'm sort of just like, how useful is Vileplume at this point since Vivillon is gone? And I was like, well, he's probably going to go for a Circle Throw, but he ends up having the Facade, which really threw me off. I'm just like, what the fuck? Where'd this come from? So the Sensei is going to kill me off, and I'm just like, okay, there goes the Vileplume. I have to make sure from now on I don't get burned from this Dusclops. So that was like priority number 1. I'm going to send in my Prime for Alligator. I'm going to go for a safe little Waterfall because I didn't think that any of his mons wanted to take a Waterfall from me. So there goes the Sensei. And that was one of the biggest nuisances he had last battle gone. Hit that and the Dusclops were the biggest problems we had last battle. So he's going to bring in this Mr. Softy, and I knew with every fiber of my body that it's going to go for a Freeze Dry. So I was like, okay, what's the best mon to take a Freeze Dry? And I realized I had 4 Pokemon weak to it. So I was like, well, there's the only one left. Foxy, you're going to have to take this real quick. And thankfully she does. She does it relatively nicely too. And I'm sort of scared at this point that The flamethrower was really obvious, so I was like, okay, odds are the Rapidash can come in, get Flash Fire, and just do all kinds of dirty work to me. So I went for a Psyshock, but thankfully for me, he ends up bringing in the Muck. So I was like, yeah, this is going to do like 60%. Nope, does about 40, maybe. And that's Assault Vested. That means it's higher special defense. I'm just like, why? And I'm sorry, I'm just like, I have these little bursts that want to come out. But I knew that I was thinking that maybe an Earthquake might come, or a Poison Jab might come. But he's going to go for a Payback, which is alright with me. I didn't really care. Sand Slash didn't do anything. So Sand Slash was safe, plus he's super physically defensive. So I was able to eat that up, and I'm able to wake up the next turn, go for the Stealth Rocks as I get knocked off this turn, I believe. No, I get Power Up Punch. As this little Muck tries to start setting up on me as he gets the Poison Touch, which is whatever. Pecans was sort of just there just to make sure that he can get the rocks up and then knock off the Dusclops. Other than that, I really don't care. So I'm just going to go for another Earthquake. I'm just going to go for an Earthquake because I was like, what are the odds that he'll switch out the Muck after +1? So he ended up staying in, thankfully for me. I didn't think that would kill, to be honest. I thought that Muck could eat up that relatively nicely, but turns out I was wrong. I guess I completely underestimated how powerful Sand Slash is. Well, or overestimated Muck. I'm not sure. Whatever. He's going to send in the red button. I'm just like, this is a godsend. I do not care about Pecans as long as I get this knockoff off. Because Red Button was the one Pokemon that I wanted to kill. I did not care about the end result. I just wanted to kill the stupid Dusclops. As he goes for a Hex, I'm just like, well, there odds are this goes Sand Slash. But I end up living with like a little bit of health left, you know, a little bit. So thankfully this turn, he makes a very odd play and doesn't decide to stay in with Red Button, as I decided to go for a knockoff because I thought that would be the most useful damage, as he brings in Mr. Softy, which works out in my favor because now this thing was Life Orb. Now it's not, and now it's sort of lost a lot of power, but it had weak armor, which sucked so much. So now it's a lot faster than it used to be. So now Pecans, essentially, he's just there for Death Fodder because I didn't want anyone else to be taking an Ice Beam. I knew that Freeze Dry was also a possibility, but I was like, odds are he'd want to make sure that Ice Beam does more damage because if the Ninetales came in with for the Freeze Dry, I would be fine. It would be a lot more fine if it came into an Ice Beam. So whatever, I'm going to send in the Ninetales right now. Still worried about the what's it called? No. I ended up going for a Flamethrower this turn because I knew that this Vanillix, I think it's called, this licking thing, that thing that Pokemon that God knows why was created. I ended up going for a Flamethrower because I knew it would die upon re-entry, so I was like, might as well make sure that it will die instead of taking the little risk. So right here, I was really banking that he would overpredict the Drill Run, and I was like, well, if he overpredicts the Drill Run, odds are I can just switch in to Seismitoad. But he was like, no, he's going to go for something else. So I ended up staying in, which ended up working out, but he's going to go for the Wild Charge. And I was sort of banking that he would go for it again this next turn. So I ended up switching out and bringing in the Seismitoad just to make sure that it was still the going for the Wild Charge. But I ended up not bothering to change moves. And here, it pretty much confirms that it was Scarfed. So I was like, well, there goes that Debbie. And essentially, at this point, I knew that the Red Button, as no matter how much it wanted to, it really couldn't take on my Mons 3 vs 1. So right here, this is pretty much the one play I'm proud of right here. The Red Button was at like yellowish health, so I was like, odds are he wants to go for a Pain Split. So I ended up switching out Nickel and bringing in the lower HP Ninetales. I was like, well, if he goes for a Hex, I'm dead. If he ends up going for Will-O-Wisp, I got Flash Fire. If he goes for a Pain Split, I get a little bit of HP. He ends up going for the Pain Split. He lost a little bit of HP. I got a little bit of HP. And here, that pretty much seals up the game. I just know that at this point, I have more HP technically, and I have Dark Pulse. So if I really wanted to, I could maybe get a flinch right here, but I don't. Didn't really matter. He ends up going for a Pain Split again, instead of trying to kill me with Will-O-Wisp or something like that. And now this red button should die to the next Dark Pulse. And there you go, my friends. Our freaking our team is now 3-3. The Detroit Cobalions, after that 1-2 start, have finally broke even after the two game losses at the beginning of the season. We are here. We are, like, I don't even know what standings we are at this point in time. It's while I was getting ready for the battle, Swami was telling me that he was updating the standings. But I was too worried about updating my game. I was just like, please game update, please update. Because I didn't know that the game that Pokemon got an update until I tried to get online. I was like, oh, you can't get online. I was like, crap. I remember Anima telling me updating. I was like, fuck. But anyways, yeah, that was that. We ended up getting a nice 3-0. Pecans did massive work, and so did Foxy, so that's really, really good. Alpha, I know that your Fire Punch wasn't in vain. You ended up doing it very nicely, and we ended up getting relatively lucky with how Swami decided to play, because afterwards he ended up telling me about how much he didn't enjoy the fact that he let his Vivillon die, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my Mons weak to that Vivillon, and he ended up letting it die essentially first or second after Alpha died. So that ended up working out in our favor, and then afterwards it was just it didn't matter. Battle was a battle. It seemed pretty not one-sided. Hexish, it ended up balancing out for the most part. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button, and it really does mean a lot. Make sure to check out Swami in the description below. He's a very fun guy. And if you guys aren't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys also, this is the halfway mark right here. If you guys want to see, I want to know if you guys think that we can make it to the playoffs right now. Top 2 teams of the league, of the division right now. Top 2 teams of each division make it to the playoffs. So I don't know where we're at right now. The odds are in the description below. There'll be the league website over there. So if you guys could please tell me, what are your predictions? Who will make it into the playoffs right here at the midway part of the season? But anyways, this has been Enestor, and I will see you guys next week.